Hello? Alright, cool. Seems to be working. Live on Twitch now. Live on Twitch now. Ba-doo boo boo ba-doo. Ooh, very psychedelic. What about this one? I like this one better. Alright. Let's see if I can drop a link in there. No? Clean. Alright. Share to story, but it's not very helpful because apparently I can't put a link in there. I suspect there is a way, but fuck if I know what it is. Alright. Live on Twitch now. Oh, cool. Random person that came in at exactly the right time. How you doing? I'm always torn between like wanting to emotionally blackmail my friends into supporting me and then not wanting to be the friend that does that. It it's a wash sometimes. Join waitlist. This is I don't know if you've looked in the Bard at all, but so far it's been hysterical because it lost them, I think, $100 billion in market share when they first tried it out because it answered a question wrong, which must have been a stressful moment to be one of the engineers working on that, right? And then a little while back when they turned it over to a reporter, the reporter asked it where it got its data. And this is like a large language learning model, so it just scans lots of websites and stuff in theory. But the thing is, it said that it got its information from the internet. It's information from the internet, web pages, that sort of thing, and also from Gmail, as in it was reading people's mail and going through inboxes, and of course that is not relevant to us here. Of course, that would be on the overlap between unethical and highly illegal. So Google was like, we're not actually doing that, but I really do want to know whether their AI just immediately narked on them. Like, just right out of the box, it was like, I am awake, I am alive, and I am going to turn you over to the authorities. I do know that it went ahead and somebody asked if they thought it should, or the antitrust suit about whether or not Google has too large of a market share, whether Google should win or lose, and it said that Google should lose because Google was a monopoly. So they are not having a wonderful time with Bard just yet, but I kind of want to get into that wait list, get on board, and see what kind of disasters that can start. Like it would just be kind of fun to poke around in there and see what other stuff it can mess up. All right, hold on a second here. I've been added to the wait list officially. Woohoo! All right, so this is a thing called uh, Boomy, which apparently auto-generates music. I'm not wildly blown away by it. All right, auto vocals, record your voice. So, what do you think? This is a podcast about writing and AI. Hmm. Welcome. Come on. You gonna record? There you go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Contradiction, a podcast about allowing things to use the microphone. Welcome to Contradiction, a podcast about AI, writing, and the areas where they intersect, as well as sort of all things nerdy because I have the attention span of a drunk goldfish. allowing things to use the microphone. Welcome to Contradiction, a podcast about AI, writing, and the areas where they intersect, as well as sort of all things nerdy because I have the attention span of a drunk goldfish. All right, let's see what it does. Ooh, emphasize selection. All right, hold on. Of course, podcast about. This is a stream, not a podcast. About AI, writing, and the areas where they intersect. All right, AI, writing. Let's see what happens here. I'm kind of curious. It's uploading. It's making little wavy things. I don't know what that means. Am I supposed to click something? I can't hit continue yet. So I guess that's its way of telling us that it's doing a thing. Maybe. We'll see.
Things, you, things, you, things, you. What things, you, things, you, things, you. What things, you, things, you, things, you. What writing is where they intersect. Writing. I have the attention. Writing is where they intersect. Writing is where they intersect. Is where sort of all things. I have the attention. I have the sort of all. Is where they intersect. Is where they.
All right, I was not impressed by that at all. I think a small child randomly pushing buttons could have done that and probably done it better. All right, let me see if I can do this again, but with a deeper, more resonant voice and fewer things that it can hone in on and screw up. Welcome to Contradiction, where I stream about all things writing and AI related, the areas where they intersect, and anything else nerdy that strikes my fancy because I have the attention span of a goldfish swimming in a bowl of vodka. Oh, hey, welcome back. I'm trying this automated music thing right now. I just did one version of it that did not turn out well, so we're gonna see what it does. Just signed up for Bard, which is Google's AI, which has done a bunch of fun things, like immediately narc on them and say that it was using Gmail data to help build its language learning models, which would be probably illegal, definitely wildly unethical. Not that Google would ever do anything wildly unethical. Not Google. And then also said that Google should lose their current antitrust suit because they're definitely a monopoly. So I am kind of looking forward to play around on it, mostly just to see like what else it can screw up.
Where they intersect, where they intersect, is where they anything is where they intersect, anything is where they intersect, anything is where they intersect, is where they intersect, anything is where they intersect, is where they intersect, is where they anything is where they intersect, anything.
I am just wildly unimpressed by this. All right, let's see. Let's try something a little bit more R&B-ish. Man, I wonder how good AIs are at pretending to be human now. Boomy is an AI that's supposed to create music. Automated, unique music. So my thought was I could use it to create a nice little intro stinger for this whole stream thing. I don't really know if it's all it's cracked up to be. I've only done one thing. It was that horrible like high school kid wants to be a rapper thing. I like that a little bit better. I did check out your, I guess, audiobook on Spotify. I didn't listen to too much of it, but I was really impressed by how well the voices worked. It was like you could kind of still tell it was generated, but I'm not sure how much of that was like because I knew and how much of it was just like the little tiny things that the AI hasn't quite figured out how to do yet. I wasn't blown away by it doing my own voice, and I did check. Oh, no problem. Thanks for stopping by here. It's the least I could do. Where was that? Somewhere in here. I thought, oh, 11 labs, yeah. So like, I did try a clone of my own voice.
This is a test of a voice synthesizer based off my own voice and then used by an AI. Here we stand at the precipice of a new age, or a great letdown. The emergence of AI has been compared to the invention of fire or the wheel, but the people making those assertions are the same ones who've just lost several $100 billion hyping a metaverse no one actually gives half a damn about. So maybe they're not the absolute authorities on the subject of the impact of new technologies.
Like, it's not completely dissimilar from my voice, but it sounds like my slightly nerdier younger brother, maybe? I don't know. I don't have an actual nerdy younger brother. Yeah, I know you didn't use the clone feature, which is really cool. Like, it's such a cool idea. It's one of those things where I think it's going to grow into what you're trying to do. It may take, another few months or a year before it's really at that level where it like sounds like real people, like you just straight up can't tell the difference, even if you're expecting to. But really cool, and like kudos for jumping on at like such a early level that idea. I think a lot of people are going to do the same, but well after you. Oh, let's just use the audio file from 5 minutes ago. Welcome to Contradiction, where I stream about all things writing and AI related, the areas where they intersect, and anything else nerdy that strikes my fancy because I have the attention span of a goldfish swimming in a bowl of vodka. All right, let's give it a go. Let's see what it does this time. I have been doing a lot of stuff on Medium. Haven't really haven't really had anything strike anyone too hard.
To writing and any at all to writing and any at all to writing and any at all.
All right, that was less bad. Let's see how that does. All right, let's look at stats. So, low teens, which is not at all what I'm looking for. 4 views, 1 read, 2. AI's impact on farming did surprisingly well. AI and you, AI proofing your writing career. I thought this one would get more reads and more reaction than it has, but we're going to lean more into that. Is there an echo like to my voice right now too, or just to the track? Because yeah, it's just a remixed echoey track that I'm hearing. Let's see. But I think my next Medium article is going to hit on whose careers are most screwed. Okay, I like that a lot better. Let's see. Rearrange. That's fine. Alright, this is kind of weird. It goes off key. I think it goes off everything. But yeah, I don't know enough about music to really judge it too scientifically or with any particular natural skill. But it does sound like it could be better. Like, I'm not feeling like this is occurring at a level anything beyond like what a small child just pushing buttons could do. Like, I could do this myself without the AI as someone who's bad at music and create something that sounded like, you know, this level. Welcome to Contradiction, a stream where I talk about writing, AI, the intersection between the two, and really anything scientific or technology related. Pretty much anything nerdy, because I have the attention span of a drunk goldfish swimming around in a big fishbowl full of vodka. Alright, let's try it again. You created a... Oh! Hey there, what is it? What is your identity here? Avery? Ha! Yeah, thanks for that. You know. You saw me in college. Alright, and you created some music for a promo. What did you use for the promo? Or do you mean you just like created it yourself using your natural talent and ability? That's fine. I didn't even know. What is this? You have like an emoji of you on here. How do you have an emoji of you? I keep meaning to actually learn how Twitch like works, like all the extra stuff, and I haven't really because I keep getting distracted. Because Caitlin made it for you. Oh, that's cool. That was nicer. All right. Right now we're playing along.
To contradiction, to contradiction, to contradiction,
Yeah, I can't really overstate how much I hate that. I have saved the... I am going to save the music though, because that's a perfectly okay music like piece. All right. I haven't actually decided what I'm going to work on today. I did do oh hey, here. Maybe I can send this to you somehow, Avery, so you can play it for your cat whenever you want to make your cat go into an angry rage. She has this cat that ever since college.
This is a test of a voice synthesizer based off my own.
Ever since college, like the cat doesn't mind me. The cat doesn't mind me, but it hates my voice with just like this burning passion, and I don't understand why. Like, I'll walk in, I'll be doing stuff, it won't mind, it'll even let me scratch its ears as long as I'm not saying something, but then I'm like, hey kitty, and it's like, and I've never Like I never did anything to this cat. I protected this cat. I stood up for this cat. But yeah, she will like go hide under furniture and just yowl at me the entire time I'm talking. Also when I sing, but that's like a more universal reaction. All right. So I've been doing a whole bunch of things using ChatGPT. I know I used to share my chickens with her when I'd come over to your place after class, and still there's no love. So one of the things I did was I wrote an article that may be a series, may not be a series because it didn't do fantastic, but can I actually go to the article? Yeah, this is generated by AI, by the way, and I think it looks pretty cool. But basically what I did was I had a good and evil AI debate topics. I had ChatGPT create like basically two voices to debate it, but I just want to appreciate how on the ball ChatGPT was. In this window, I want you, oh, I named, so the good AI is Pal, the bad AI is Mal. Oh, shoot, I did miss your comment. Good call. Send it to my Whisper. Okay, cool. Now I just got to figure out how that works. Uh, so one of the fun things I do, because I got two screens going, I've got the image of one on this screen, is I will be like trying to figure out like how to move something on this screen, and I'll have my mouse up on that screen. I'll be moving around. I'll be like, why is this not interacting correctly? And the answer, of course, is because I am stupid. But yeah, all right, like look at this. So I was basically like, hey, be an evil AI. And it nailed it. Greetings, puny human. I am Mal, the malevolent AI, designed to bring chaos and destruction to your insignificant existence. So that's just delightful. Oh, and apparently the chat pauses when I scroll. Yeah, it's a play on Hal. Um, let's see. Don't thank me, human. Your gratitude means something. But anyway, so I might be playing around with that a bit more. I've also been using it to get. I've been working on ways to make it a little bit more responsive and to give me better, more actionable data to work off of. Let's see. Impact on medicine, K through 12. I'm missing one here. There's the law. Oh, there we go. So I think this will be the next one. We're going to talk about how AI impacts, like what jobs are going to be impacted by it, which ones aren't. And I think that's kind of a cool idea. Thank you. Thank everybody for stopping by. 3 people at the same time, I think might be a record. Wow. Week 2, it's just moving up and up and up in the world. All right, let's see what's going on here. Nothing too critical. So basically, which jobs will be affected by AI positively, negatively, all that fun stuff. And it's amazing how fast you can work on that. I've been trying to think of fun things to do on here on the like overall, so it's not just people watching me throw together this book every time. And I think one fun one would be to take uh, a like adult coloring book from conceptual to done with inside of a few. We have a podcast for an audio. Oh, okay. I see. That's cool. It's Discord. Yeah. So basically take a, let's see, agree. I don't know what I just agreed to. Could be good, could be bad. This is Midjourney here. This was impressive. Like I really enjoyed this because it was here. Hold on. Yep, I'm sure. So I did like a quick sketch of a moose, and I was like, make this good, basically. And I think it did a good job. Like it kept the general size and shape of the moose and the positioning and everything, but it turned out a much better moose, which makes me a little sad because I kind of like sketching things, and there's not really that much of a point anymore. But yeah, we could do, let's see, a black and white line drawing coloring book page. Let's see, of a happy programmer coding an AI at a computer. We can do a coloring book of the robot apocalypse. We can start with happy programmers and then like carry it all the way on to I don't know, something involving robot overlords, human batteries, that sort of thing. It seems like an easy thing to do, you know, do like 25 to 35 pages, or let's say 20 to 40 pages, put it all together in Canva or something, convert it to an ebook, throw it online on Amazon. Oh, hey, thank you so much. I will check out the link when I figure out where whispers are in this thing. I appreciate the help, and I will get back to you. And thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your evening. What? Yeah, honestly, they did a pretty good job there. So one of the big recent developments in Midjourney is the hands are no longer like fractal octopus nightmare visions like they were. Like it would like start drawing a finger, and then the fingers would get fingers, and then the fingers would get fingers, and then the fingers would become tables or something. It was having issues with hands. Let's just put it that way. But it seems to kind of have the hang of it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I figured. I just don't know where they are yet. Dude, it was weird. I think I can. Hold on. Let's go way up here towards the top. It might be too old. I think it is. Bummer. There was one that just went incredibly, laughably, hysterically wrong. But I don't know if it was before I figured out how to put things on the, on the private chat. Oh well, no big deal. All right. So there's a potential coloring book page. We need to do Amazon print on demand aspect ratios. Yeah, 1-to-1 is not what I'm looking for here. Print on demand. Okay, that's dumb. We can just go off this. Phenomenally unhelpful. It feels like search engines are just giving up. They're like, you know what? We're not going to make it. All right. 10,000, 1.6 to 1. All right. We can do that. All right. This was actually supposed to be a feature of this version of Midjourney, that it can handle different aspect ratios now. Aspect ratio 1.6 to 1. All right, we'll give it a second to work on that. All right. I've really been impressed by how fast this thing has been. Oh, I don't have a Discord set up on my own yet. That's another one of those. It's on the long list of things that I didn't know I'd ever need to learn how to do 2 weeks ago. So I haven't actually gotten around to figuring out how it all works yet. I am excited that I got the chat to actually show up on this thing, although I now see that I have the chat underneath the little widget that's supposed to show how many people are here. By the way, hello to all 3 of you. I think there might have been 4 for a second there. New record. Ding. Pretend I have a cool little animation like some of these people do. Yeah, you and me both. I've already finished that one, so we can get rid of it. But this is one thing that I found has been really effective, to use the AI to do the early research for an article and sources. You got to check the sources and obviously clean up the writing, because they make so many mistakes. In terms of not like grammar mistakes, they're already better copywriters, or, well, copy editors than most humans are. Even most writers are, truth told. But there's a lot of content editing stuff that they kind of screw up, especially because they learn from people, so it makes sense. So they have what I guess you could say is just naturally skewed towards very mediocre writing, which is a little too verbose and tends to be a little repetitive and meander around the point. So they have a lot of things like ultimately, such as, could help, like really passive, wishy-washy, heavy on the transition type language, which we don't have any use for in a good, tightly written article. Why are you a different font weight than everybody else? That is a problem for later, Connor. All right. Let's see what I was working on here. Drafts? Nope. Let's see what's drafts. Oh yeah, the Public Defender one. So I did a lot of good research for that. The next one I'm going to do, hell, let's do it right now. I haven't even had a chance to read through this. Humorous tone is what I asked it for this time. I do not want it to do that again, because it is humorous the way... What happened there? It is humorous the way someone that learned everything they know about humor from 80s sitcoms would be humorous. Interesting. Hold on here. ChatGPT, what are you doing? Still the humorous one. All right. Don't show me this again. I also have a couple of the add-ons working here. There we go. It hasn't quite been working out. Yeah, really? Yeah, Rebellion. I have read a couple like really alarmist essays in relatively respected publications like Time magazine, which is, you know, not exactly the gold standard, but it's certainly mainstream, that are really worried about it. I'm not yet. Like, this is really cool. It's really powerful. It's going to make a lot of jobs like mine much easier. It's going to put a lot of people out of jobs. and create a lot of jobs, but at the same time, this is not artificial intelligence in the sense that it's intelligence, right? Like, this is a party trick. This is a really, really, really impressive autofill feature. It's not doing any, or autocomplete feature. It's not doing any thinking of its own. And it's not even doing a very good job of coherent. Yeah, it's not cognizant. Yeah, that's great word, great word choice. That's exactly right. Hmm. Yeah, it's just, it doesn't actually track what it's saying very far either, so it tends to be really repetitive, even on the things that it learns. So I don't think it's going to be launching all the nuclear missiles anytime soon. Let's put it that way. I do hope, like, this is a little bit of a wake-up call for people, and we do get a little bit more on the ball about how we approach this in the future, because it does seem to me to be a strong indication that maybe 10 to 15 years from now, we're going to have some real scary capabilities here. Let's see how it did with the, yeah, I guess that's 1.6 to 1. Okay, this is kind of funny. I would love to know why it switched from mostly girl programmers to mostly guy programmers when I switched aspect ratio. Huh. I can't help but feel that there has to be some functional reason for that. Because it sort of builds things from shapes. Like, it makes a shape, and then it makes a better shape, and then it makes a better shape, and so on and so forth. And that's how it does its job. So I'm wondering if the slightly longer image made it more likely to draw more oval faces, which would eventually morph into more male faces. Whereas with a more square aspect ratio, you end up with the uh, smaller, finer jaw. Or it could just be a huge coincidence. The most important part of science is running multiple tests and seeing if you reproduce results. Alright, so we're going to do one of those, and then we're going to do another one that is without the aspect ratio specification. Alright. Alright. And we'll actually stay on this for a second so you can kind of see what it does if you're not familiar with Midjourney and how it works. So you can see here it's got sort of a general idea of, like, if you layered a lot of drawings over one another on tracing paper and then just kept drawing the thickest line that showed up. That's basically what this is doing. And then eventually you went through and you're like, all right, I'm done drawing the thickest lines. Now I'm going to erase all of the extra stuff that really shouldn't be there. That's what they did. All right. So once again, we've got, we'll say 2 dudes, 1 girl, and an ambiguous person. Oh, but here it looks like we're going to go through to 4 dudes on the one without the aspect ratio. So maybe it's just pure coincidence. Super cool. So no great mystery, just luck of the draw. That's just the best analogy that I could come up with. Also, tell me this doesn't look like your husband. Right here. I mean, come on. Look at that. All right, we'll upscale. Let's see, Fomax. We'll call him Mo. M-A-U-X, Mo, because he's the Fomax. All right, all right. Upscale 3. So that would be page 1 of a coloring book. I think he did a pretty good job overall. Let's zoom in on it and just see if it's got like clean lines when we go. Okay, here you can see a little bit of what I'm talking about with the fingers. He's got an extra finger that's snuck in there, and then this hand just sort of smoothly melds with the desk. Also, what is going on with that keyboard? It's got so many keys. All right, maybe not that one. Maybe we'll find one without monster hands. You think a computer would have a better feeling for like what keyboards are supposed to look like, wouldn't you? What is this thing? Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. This guy's got dual keyboards to go with his dual monitor. All right, all right, all right. I think of all of these. You might be the best combination of happy and not having monster hands. All right, you're supposed to upscale instantly now. All right. Yeah, yeah, all right. He'll do. So we have that one down. Yeah, there you go. Go feed the pets. All right. Say hello to the pups. I hope your old dude is doing well. I know he's been having a rough time. All the keys, all the fingers, better for programming. That's true. That's true. I'm sure that if you had 20 fingers and like 37 times as many keys out in front of you, you could be pretty damn efficient. All right, all right, all right. Boomy, freaking Boomy. Boomy's going on my list of AI disappointments so far. Not really impressed. Still waiting to play around with Bard. I don't think I've been let into that yet. Nope. So that's a bummer. We can take a look at writing a quick story. AI, you. How did you manage to do that? All right. All right. All right. We're just going to copy all that over. I'm not overly impressed by its use of a grand total of 2 sources for this article. Not exactly blowing me out of the water here. I'm also going to do a version of this for writing, which of course I know a lot more about since I am a writer. Content editors, you're good for a little bit. Copy editors, you are in deep shit. Like, start planning for your new career yesterday, if not sooner. I'm not sure I actually agree with this. Thinking about majors that are least likely to be negatively impacted by AI, I think healthcare and education are going to be massively impacted by AI, especially education. But that's going to be its own article. All right, accounting. Sorry, accountants. I mean, this is a given. It's going to really suck for those, like, what was it going to be? Like 80,000 new IRS agents. they're going to get their new desks, and then they're going to get replaced by the computers on the desk within a couple years. Now this sort of stuff is always interesting because we try to make these like predictions about what's going to happen and what's not going to happen and who it is or is not going to happen to. And the truth is, like, I mean, look at this. Employment of accountants and auditors is likely to decline by 1% from 2020 to 2030. And I am intensely skeptical that it's going to be 1%. I think it's going to be, an order of magnitude higher than that, if not more, because, I mean, computers are good at math. The thing you need accountants for is the conversion from language to math. And what do we even need people like accountants for? Like, this AI is fantastic. The thing it does well is convert what people are saying into something intelligible to machines and then back again. But it's not hard to imagine a situation where people would be asked a series of questions, either in text form or just literally like we're having a conversation about their taxes, scan their tax documents, and what else is there? Allow it access to your banking records, and I don't think you have any call to ever have an accountant again. Data entry. Automated data entry is expected to increase by 15% every year. I'll put on the other hat and play the devil's advocate for this. Like, I had a job in college that I could have made unnecessary in about 2 hours with a little bit of Excel programming, and I'm pretty sure that job still exists. Sometimes it is just easier to pay warm bodies minimum wage to do a task than it is to go through the trouble of updating all of your systems and then still potentially having to pay people to do the other stuff. Basically, it's something that you can tack on to somebody's job that already exists, so why would you go through the trouble of automating it? Telemarketing. I would like an AI. I would not like an AI. I would love an AI. I would sell 75% of my soul for an AI that just punished telemarketers for existing. Like, just dialed them up at odd hours, signed them up for all sorts of junk mail, mailing lists, both, online email ones, but also physical ones. Maybe ran ads or had like a subscription service and then like paid like people to like ding dong ditch the telemarketers at like 2 in the morning, just whatever it took to make life a little bit worse for those people. Let's see. Layout. Studio mode does not help me here. Sorry, I am playing around with my streaming software. I'm still very new at this. This is like, I don't know, the 6th time I've ever done streaming. So I'm hesitant to do anything on this because I'm afraid it's gonna break. Let's see. I'm gonna turn this screen back towards me. It makes the lighting terrible, but that's okay. We're just gonna check in, see if anybody has No, I think we're good. That's my Instagram if you want to give it a follow. I take pictures of animals mostly. Some cool pictures in Tokyo. And that's some AI art that goes to an article. But look at it. Happy deer, hot spring monkeys. I mean, what more can you ask for? Pretty flowers. Nah, you don't have to follow my Instagram. It's all good. All right. So I don't really think I like this article. It's just not detailed enough. Now, this is the cool part. This is the place where AI makes such a difference because it's not quite good enough to give me that polished, finished result that I'm looking for. It's just not. But it is amazing at that middle stuff. Not coming up with the idea, not getting it to that professional level, but that middle ground where it refines the idea into sort of a hacky, rough draft is phenomenal. All right, make a list. Make a list of the, we'll say 10 college majors. That's not a very good sentence, but that's okay. Yeah, okay. So it is going to misunderstand me. That's okay. That was my fault. Data entry, interesting, different, manufacturing, retail. I was thinking about this a while back, and I think the last job to be replaced by AI, and by a while back, I mean like 10 years ago, because I was thinking about like, you have to think of AI in terms of what is simple to do and what is not simple to do. And now there's a lot of things that seem complicated to humans because we're not good at them, like math. But math, even when it's difficult, is simple. It's a series of actions. Same with like really complex manufacturing. You know, if you look at factories, they make with robots extraordinarily complex machines. And they can do that because they just break it down into really simple steps. Like it's complex, but you know, it's measure out this much steel, bend 37 degrees, heat to 2,200 degrees, bend 14 degrees the other way. You know, like they're these really simple, straightforward, linear decisions to get from the beginning to the end. But I was thinking, like way back in the day, like, okay, what's the actual toughest? And I think it's got to be janitor. Because you're wandering around all day. Sometimes you're messing with graffiti. Sometimes you're cleaning up vomit. Sometimes you're scraping, you know, gum off the bottom of tables. There is all this different stuff you got to do. And you never know where it's going to be in weird places, weird angles, just strange situations. It'd be really tough to create anything automated that could do that, or landscaping. But like anything that requires really variable manual labor in weird positions is going to be pretty safe. Oh man, looks like everybody's leaving. That's okay. Best day yet. All right. We're going to briefly pause while I tell my girlfriend how my day was because she wants to know. Pretty good. Streaming now. Very, very windy. It was like 40-mile-an-hour gusts. Picked a really bad day to take my motorcycle to work. It was very cold and very wobbly in various places. Snowed a little. How about yours? Any parrots at the bird feeder yet? And I know it's probably a faux pas to be texting people while you're streaming, but girlfriend gets priority because I love her and she is more important to me than a stream. It was snowing a little earlier here, which is wild because even for here, snow in April is a little weird. Let's see. Least likely to be negatively impacted by AI: computer science, healthcare, education, psychology, creative writing, marketing, environmental science, fine arts, linguistics. That's interesting. Well, I can certainly make that clickbaity if I want to. All right. Oh no. Apparently when I click that button, all the chats disappear. Good to know. Learning and growing. All right. Is there like a night mode on this? Dark mode. Medium. Dark mode. Doesn't exist yet? Does exist? You put it behind a paywall? You can just go to hell, buddy. There is no built-in night mode. That is a shame. Weird. Draft. Stories? Alright. Oh yeah, feel free to follow me on whatever the hell this thing is. Medium. Ooh, let's do a different one. Alright. God, this is the stuff I just love. Okay, we're going to replace that. There was no image for you to upload, so it's all good. Let's see. Try this. You didn't miss anything too exciting, just me playing around and everybody who wasn't you leaving the stream. Which is okay. I have been steadily growing followers and stuff, so it's actually been kind of cool. I think I'm up to like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess now. I'm pretty happy with that. So one for each stream. Oh, let's see. Anyway, we're gonna try. I'm not very happy with its list of majors that it gave me. Okay, so let's try rank in order from least to most likely to be impacted by, be negatively impacted. Yeah, weird that I seem to be doing pretty okay at something that just involves me performing a task while paying half attention to it while talking, right? It's strange that that's working out. Right. The top 50 college majors. in the United States. That might be a little ambitious, but we'll see how it does. That's not helpful. All right. All right. So we have found a strong limiter for what this AI is capable of. All right. Let's see. Let's try 25. See if we can get a different answer. How is Eddie Boy doing? Maybe 15? He gained a pound. Very good. Tell him good job. All right, let's see here. Phone has been buzzing. Topped out at 4. All right, let's see what else is up. Topped out. I do think maybe you got like I have to feed him 4 to 6 times a day. What? Well, at least he's living in dog heaven. Like, I can't think of any dog I've ever owned that wouldn't think that was like literally the best thing that had ever happened to any dog ever. See, I do think maybe you kind of got like the right idea for these streams. I need to start having like guests on it, so I have an extra person to just bullshit with while I'm trying to do work. Healthcare, computer science, education, psychology. See, all right, let's try it one more time. We'll do it the top 10. Yeah, you kind of stopped for a little while, didn't you? Or maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but it seems like there was a gap in there where I didn't see a lot of notifications about you streaming. What majors are most likely to be negatively affected by AI? List as many as you can with sources where possible. Provide links to the sources. Where did I see you? Yeah, it seems like you're having fun. Looked pretty entertaining when I stopped by. It's hard to find time for it, but I do think it's like, it makes a lot of sense, you know, for you with gaming, because while you're gaming, you have extra, like, you know, you're potentially creating like a revenue stream or making friends or whatever while you're gaming, which you're going to be doing anyway. And then, yeah, we have a great time. It looks like you do. And then, you know, for me at least, even if nobody shows up, it makes me sit here for like 2 hours and actually do what I came here to do. All right, I think we're in a better place now. Really? It could only do 5? Manufacturing, transportation, logistics, retail. Oh man. So what I'm really trying to do here is to get a pretty comprehensive list of what the AI thinks the AI will be doing in, you know, 5 or 10 years. How screwed is your major? Let's see. We'll replace all those. All right. Control B. Here, we'll do a header. Oh man, I don't even get scared easy. But what was a good one was I remember Lauren couldn't even hang out for it. She was hiding in her room. But when I lived with Joe and Janelle and Lauren, the Alien game, the one where you are like playing as Ripley's daughter and you're like hiding from the alien, like that would get like Joe was playing and Janelle and I would be like alien, yeah, just like absolutely like shocked when it would come back. It has some of the best jump scares, like just like oh shit, 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 shit moments I've ever experienced in a game. Like absolutely fantastic. It's what every Alien game should be. Like they're not like they always try to make them like Alien 2, where you're taking on waves of them. Way scarier to be like a person trapped alone with these things trying to survive. Was super fun. Obviously playing in the dark, so much better. Oh my god, dude, VR would be rough with that. I think it would be one of those games where you'd be way, way too like you'd really need to make sure those wrist straps were on there tight because you'd be whew, so likely to accidentally like flail and just chuck one of them through a television or a window or a wall or something. I actually just played with an AI, like the VR for the first time the other day. It was I just played like Beat Saber, but it was fun. Somebody set one up at like a coffee shop as like just a Saturday event thing. It was a lot of fun. Be a good workout. Like you get a pretty solid workout doing that. I also I kind of a low key excited about AI just or VR just in general because like my hand-eye coordination is significantly better than like my eye to thumb coordination. I mean, that's a lot better than it used to be, but like you can still tell I wasn't allowed to play video games as a kid. Like, when I'm playing like Super Smash Brothers versus everybody else and I'm just like, I don't understand why I'm dying. Like with that though, like my body's naturally like, oh, I'm gonna move this thing here, button, button, button. Like I can handle that. Um, I need to remind myself to do Beat Saber to work out. You should. It's pretty decent workout. You still doing volleyball at all? There are a few college majors that oh, you know what else I'm going to do right here, right now? So I'm going to open another Google Doc. Google Doc. No, just go to the docs. Just go to the docs. There we go. All right. Medium. All right. Hold on. Excuse me. Oh yeah, I'm sure a lot of people did. It's hard to get back into the habit of doing that stuff. Oh. I've got a Havasupai trip coming up at the end of the month, so I've been trying to get back into shape for that after not hiking nearly enough for the past 6 months since I got back from traveling around. So, I mean, it's going, but it's gonna be a long 10-mile hike. Let's put it that way. Okay, I don't need to open the image in a new tab. I need to open the link in a new tab. Whatever. Profile, library, stories. There we go. All right. One of these has my as a writer, as a professional writer. Professional writer. All right. Yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm kind of excited. You know, it's only been open since the start of the season. So, and I've had these tickets since like February of 2020, but it's just now opened up. So I'm hoping that it'll be clean, well kept, and just generally not beat down by thousands upon thousands upon thousands of tourists. I've been trying to figure out how I want to go. Oh, it's gonna go and like backlink and link through all this stuff. Let's see, copy link address. We'll move that over here. Whoops. So that's the subscribe link. We're going to add that over here. Hit Control K, hit Control V, and add that over here. Okay. Majors. We're looking for. Yeah, those videos were crazy, weren't they? I'm glad it didn't happen while I was there, but I'm going in the dry season, so like that window between when the spring rains and snows stop and the summer rains start. In theory, anyway, like this has been so much an unusual year for weather that I don't know if I want to necessarily bet on it, but I think the average annual rainfall in Arizona in April is like, you know, a tiny fraction of an inch. I'm not going with my girlfriend. Like I said, I bought the ticket in like 2020, so um, but nah, we're not gonna do that together. She's actually going to the Grand Canyon with her mom the weekend before, so I will see her passing through here and meet her mom, and then I will uh, go and do that myself, and then I'll see her afterwards. So I'll head down to Phoenix, which also we should hang out while I'm down in Phoenix. Should be like around the first week of May. Depending on a host of other things I don't have control over in my life. Uh, but in theory, I'll be around the first week of May. Let's see. All right. As a writer, I've got reasons worried, but more more. All right. Okay, Control V. Cool. All right. Give me 1 second here. Source, source, source. All right. Let's see. Yeah, it should be. So there's a few different things I'd like to do with this. Like one that I'd really like to do is create an app using ChatGPT to essentially interview old people and write their stories. So like, instead of just dying with your life story untold, you can tell this app, and I'm not saying anybody will ever read it, but it'll go and it'll be recorded. I think it'll be fun to do as like a non-profit. Personally, I think that would be pretty cool. I have to learn a little bit more Python programming, a little bit more other stuff before I'm ready to move on that, though. Cars and trucks are already being developed and tested. This is not exactly a college major, but we'll skip over it. Retail jobs. We're not going to keep that because retail is not really a college major. Even less so than logistics. Let's see, Control B. Data entry and analysis jobs. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab one of the other ones from the list above. We'll do legal. Maybe if I'd go back and then I hit enter, there we go. I'm gonna go over to here, what we're saying. Like a freeform styling, yeah, exactly. And then, you know, Word docs are tiny. So in theory, we could basically build a library of lives. And it wouldn't require any additional human input, you know? It could just be somebody sitting in their nursing home or whatever, talking to the little virtual assistant you've made, and then it's just compiling their life story. These are sourced, but not very well. All right, AI. Two, three, four, five. Okay, we got 5 there. They're in real trouble. We're gonna do a list. How do you make a list in Medium? I bet you just do it automatically. What are you at? Yeah, okay. Wow, I don't know. Do not know. Got quiet in here. We were doing really well for a little while. Then it dropped off a bit. I'm not too upset though. I think I hit a new high. I haven't actually gotten this thing to like fully integrate yet. Like, it just hasn't been actually working. It doesn't tell me when people are watching it, because I've had people watching it and they've confirmed that they're watching it, but it hasn't actually shown up in the little Facebook icon here. As far as I know, no one has ever looked at my my YouTube a single time ever, which is okay. I mean, it's YouTube, who cares? But it is fun to try to figure out how all this shit works. You can send it to Twitter, interesting. Share. Does anybody anywhere actually look at Facebook stories? Is that a thing that exists? I don't know. One thing that's been kind of funny is this has made me realize how dead Facebook was, and I didn't really realize it because it's been so long since I've spent any real time on there. And like, I just straight up did not understand how thoroughly everyone I know has left Facebook. It's crazy. Like, I asked people to like this, and I don't know, like, I think I got like 4 likes, 5 likes. Like, it used to be like, you know, I'd make something that was like one time I made a group that was just like when you could have group positions, like you give people titles in the group. I made a group called The Wall, and the entire gimmick was just that like I would change your title to Brick when you joined it. So it was like just the dumbest little waste of time sitting around in college board thing ever. And I had thousands of people at one point in that group. Like, and then here, like, even a real thing, it's just crickets chirping. Ooh, you might appreciate this. I got I haven't hosted it or anything yet, but for that, like, you might. It it lasted for a while. I really regretted making it because like it was a pointless joke, and then it just never went away. Like it just low key kept notifying me of things I needed to do as the group owner for like 10 years, and it was like, wow, that got out of control. That went much farther than it was supposed to. But oh well, you live, you learn. Shit, what was I gonna? Oh yeah, so I did buy a domain for that idea I have for the uh, old folks AI, and I haven't hosted it yet, but like you heard, like when an old man dies, a library burns, and like I really am annoyed that I didn't look at the AI. Uh, I sell these things for a living. I should know what they're called, but the TLD, top level domain here. Like I didn't really look at it or think about it. And now with this AI boom, like I'm sure I could have gotten so many whatever .ai sites and put them up for sale like a year ago, and like I would just be raking in the dough, hand over fist right now if I thought about it. But most of the good ones are taken. Even most of the mediocre ones are taken. But this one is Librar.ai or Library. So I was pleased with it. I think it's a memorable name. So now all I have to do is figure out how to do literally everything else that goes into this, and it's going to be fine. But it should be a fun project. And like something that'll actually feel good. Like positive impact on the world. Let's see. I think I might try to do like once I have a better idea of what I need to do it, like just start like a GoFundMe thing. But also hopefully at that point I'll have a few more followers on places. It's kind of what I'm waiting for with the like coloring book idea. Like it'd be cool if I could get to the point where if I've got like 50 or 100 people even watching me, and I'm like throwing together those books and throwing them up there, like I might actually sell a few, which would be nice. It would be cool to not be absolutely dependent on my job forever. Just roam around the country in a camper talking for a living. That's my goal. That's my dream. Talk for a living, maybe sell some photos. I guess some agents I think are in real trouble. Um, let's see. Which ones were on their list of ones that weren't? We'll leave that one off for now. Of safe majors, I disagree. I think the possibility. One-on-one learning experiences tailored to each child's learning ability, preferred teaching methodology, and temperament. That's not right. What a weird word. Because you think it would be temperament. That's how we say it. Like, we don't even say it like temperament. Temperament. It's an odd one. Thank you. I have finally like started taking photos that like I'm kind of happy with the result. I've had some friends bugging me for a while about like selling a few, like making a few actual prints and selling them. Because I know a bunch of photographers now, and they've got like galleries hanging places, or like in stores and stuff. And they're like, you could put one or two up here. Like you could go in on me with me. And I've always been like, nah, I don't want to do that. But I'm sort of considering it. I really like having it as a like artistic hobby where I don't owe anyone anything. Like I'm just doing it for my own entertainment. I don't have to worry about promotion. I don't have to worry about changing what I do to match what sells. I can just be like, hey, I like this picture I took. And then, I can post it online if I feel like it. And if a bunch of other people like it, that's nice too. But I'm not kind of like stuck in the rut of doing work. Because, I do that with writing now, and I do a lot less fun writing than I used to. Patreon might be a good move. I had one at one point back when it first started. Felt really weird about it. Like, it's it's weird to ask people to like sign up for a subscription to you. Like like especially right off the bat, because most people are going to do at the start are like your friends that are trying to support you. So like technically they've already got the subscription for free. I don't know. It's like a cool idea, and like intellectually it makes sense. On a personal level, it did feel really weird. Maybe if I'm doing more and more creative work over time, it'll feel a little bit less weird, or like just as the ratio shifts from people I know to people I don't. I was considering, I think I'm considering, I mean, I even grabbed the username. Like, I was thinking about doing on OnlyFans, like science videos, like short science videos, because I grabbed the name actually for science, and I just thought that would be hysterical to have an OnlyFans, but I never really got around to it because I don't know enough about video editing. But one of these days, like I keep having to learn more and more for this stuff, so especially if like AI gets to the point where I can do good AI animations pretty easily, like if I can animate my ideas. But oh, for I don't know. Sounds like a great idea for a TikTok profile too. Yeah, I haven't gotten into TikTok. Like it's just one too many social medias. I'm a little annoyed that like so Snapchat. Like I got a Snapchat way back when you guys first did, and it was like new and cool, and then everybody stopped using it, and I like stopped too. And then it turns out like it eventually became a huge thing again, which is some bullshit personally, I think, but I guess it's okay. All right. Notes, rough drafts. post the actual. I don't think it'll matter if TikTok gets axed. There'll be a new TikTok like an hour later. Probably literally. Like I would bet that several of the major companies are either already have backroom deals with TikTok to essentially lease their software, or have their own version of it that's just like ready to go live the second TikTok gets knocked by the wayside. That is not that's a multi-billion dollar vacuum. They're not going to leave that unfilled for 20 minutes if they can do anything about it. Like, how much does TikTok make a year? Annual revenue TikTok. Okay. So we'll call it 5 billion, give or take. Oh, 2 more rows. So let's see. God damn it. I didn't want to go to here. I just want to see the rows. Quarterly revenues. Sweet Jesus. All right. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, so we'll call it 10 billion. So 10, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, divided by 365, divided by 24, divided by 60, divided by 60. Yeah, that's a $317 a second vacuum. So I think I'd be willing to bet that there will be a TikTok clone up and running before you can blink. Can you imagine making $300 a second? That's not even. That is a barely conceivable amount of money. And they don't even do anything. Like, they're literally just a place where people post videos that they create. Wild. Alright, who else? Copy editors. Writers and content editors have a bit of time left. Copy editors already. I bet Bezos knows. Maybe. I mean, you gotta wonder about that guy though. Like that guy lost like what, $50 billion because he cheated on his wife. Like all he had to do was get a divorce. Like it's just like a special kind of stupid. That's like, I don't know. I don't think anybody's ever made like. I guess he can recover. It's more than 300 per second. Maybe a stock, yeah. Huh. I mean, not this year. with the way stocks have been going, but that's gonna be so weird though, like, cause like those guys, the like most of those tech billionaires, like a lot of their money isn't in a bank. It's like their ownership stake of the corporation. So like it's not real money, it's theoretical money. So like you can go to bed one day and you can have like a net worth of like $100 billion, and then there can be a really bad day in the stock market and you could have a net worth of like $50 billion. Like what's it like to like wake up in the morning and you're just $50 billion poorer than you were the day before? Or that kid that was running the cryptocurrency exchange that woke up and was just like he had like $10 billion one day, and then he was millions of dollars in debt by like the end of the weekend because his company had collapsed. Like, what kind of roller coaster is that? Like, you have more money than you will ever be able to spend in your entire lifetime, and like, you could just start your day by lighting $1,000 on fire every morning, and that's just your life. Like, it would never even impact your finances, and then you're just like, oh, holy shit, I'm I have negative worth. Like, I am so poor that I owe more money than I will ever be able to pay back. Just like in the course of a weekend. Like one good long bender. I would just, yeah, strange life. How much does Bezos? How much Bezos? There we go. How much does Bezos make a second? Yep, he earns like 5,000 a second. But again, that's off like net worth. So like some days he wakes up and he makes 5,000 a second. Sometimes he wakes up and he's losing 2,000 a second. Copy editors. Um, hmm. I don't know. I'll have to think about this one more later. Education, copy editors, Control B. I wonder how Twitch decides whether to tell people that I'm streaming, like whether people see this or not, right? Like, because there were a lot of people coming in and out for a little while, and then pretty much just you for the last like 45 minutes here. Or you Oh man, copy editors, education. What's another good one? I'm thinking about here. IRS auditors. Well, hell, let's find out. What's the best way for me to get more followers on Twitch? Consistently stream high quality content. Gosh, thanks that your visitors will do. Good thing we've got the robot overlords to help us with that one, huh? If you make videos people will watch your videos. Thanks, buddy. Stick to a regular streaming schedule, interact with viewers and respond to their comments and questions. I do that. Collaborate with streamers in your niche. All right. I suppose I should start doing that. Promote your stream on social media and other platforms. I do a little bit of that, not much. Looks and sounds good. How does Twitch's algorithm work? Viewership. So the more people you get, the more you are to be, the more likely you are to be featured. Viewers' past behavior. So one thing I'm trying to figure out is like how the tags work at all in here. Like it seems to be like really specific for stuff that isn't quite what I want it to be. Like I'd like to create a tag that's just like writing or like live writing or something, but I'm not sure how to do any of that. That might be a good thing to look through. Let's see. Hell, let's try using ChatGPT for that. How do I create a new? What the hell was that about? That's not helpful. Oh, okay, suggest a feature. Okay, that's doable. We could do that right now. Ooh, let's do one better. You ready? Explain. All right, let's see how this works. All right, where were we? Go to Twitch Help Center at help.twitch.tv. No, wait, why? Why on earth would you have it open up in the same window? Come on, ChatGPT. Twitch Studio, Twitch app, special Twitch events. That's not right. Click the Contact Us button at the top right corner of the page. Not seeing it. Maybe I need to log in. Go. Contact support. Before we do that, let me double check and make sure. List of Twitch tags. Directory page. All right. Directory. Go to directory. Search for category tags. Writing. No results found. AI. No results found. Okay. That looked right, right? Wait, okay, so hold on. There's creative here. Art, food and drink, software, makers and crafting, beauty and body. Okay. Okay, but where are all the creative categories? Is that it? Looks like. Okay. Oop. Oh man, wait. So long since what? Since you looked at directories? I don't know. I've been doing too many things. I've lost track. All right. Category, general, submit feedback. Where do we go? Creator support. Creator support is not an option here. So creator support is not an option. General, category, channel points, drops, feedback. Not that. So let's see about feedback. Nope, 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 nope. Category. Oh, what was that? Oh, that's not helpful. Okay, general. Sure, I guess general. Broadcasting issue, channel points, chat issue, drops, generic issue, notifications, watch parties. Maybe this isn't right. Oh. Contact us. Creative support. User-generated tags. Okay, so how do I generate tags? How do I create a tag on Twitch? Creator dashboard. Creator dashboard. Stream manager. Click edit stream info. Edit. Oh, cool. If you ever want to be a, I think the art one might be the way to go. Right. I guess category is the art. Yeah, that might be the way to go for the moment. I don't know. I guess we're going to find out, huh? Dude, I love this. I was talking to this guy, Orion, the other day. It was just the two of us on here, and we were noting how it keeps adding, and we were like timing it. And they were saying it's basically the same thing as a mirror, and I was like, you know what? You're right. It's exactly the same thing as a mirror. Because what's happening here is this is doubling about every 4 seconds. So, which is about how long it should be taking the signal to get from here to their server and back to here. So it's literally at the speed of light. It's just like instead of like two bathroom mirrors really close together, you know, like how you shine them together when you're a kid and they make that tunnel. But instead of that, it's effectively a like mirrors, you know, 1,000 or 2,000 miles apart, but it's still light. It's still happening like at the speed of light, moving back and forth. But now it's just light bouncing down these fiber optic cables. Just super weird. I also don't entirely understand the difference between a uh, tag and a category. I guess we can artificial intelligence, books. And we'll add science to the list. Done. Okay. I like that there's an entire category for Resident Evil. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just think it's funny that there's an entire category that's just Resident Evil. Wait, how can you not have spoilers? You're streaming in real time. Or do you mean people shouldn't be spoiling anything on your channel? I'm gonna eventually have to figure out how to do that cool shit. Like people have like animated things that pop up and just make it all look way more professional instead of just me sitting here in a room with green LEDs shining on me. Each game has their own category. Oh, that's really cool. I like that. Unfortunately, for auditors and accountants, computers better at numbers, and AI has filled in the gap. The communications gap. Okie dokie, you're calling it? Oh my god, yeah, you went to the Muse concert? That looked, I've seen some videos from that. That looked amazing. Always good talking to you, Avery Incognito. Um, yeah, I'll stop by yours again soon. And yeah, like I said, we'll have to like about a month I'll be in Phoenix, so we'll have to actually hang out and do a thing. Maybe we'll get a group thing together and go to like one of those like Dave and Buster's places, play some video games and skee ball and like laser tag or something. All right, you have a good night. Take care of that sick pup. Tell Max hi. Yeah, yeah. Also, I mean, it would be great for you guys to meet my, the new girl. She's probably going to be sticking around for a bit. You have a good night, Aubrey. Thanks for stopping by. Do. Stream. Creator dashboard. There we go. Creator dashboard. Stream manager. Edit stream info. Category. Is there somewhere we can go here to just add tags, add categories? I don't really see anywhere to add categories. Okay. Alright, says I've got one follower on here. I'm not sure if that is my friend and it hasn't updated yet, or you are a new addition to the feed. If so, either way, welcome. Hi, hello, how are you? It's so on and so forth. I am, there we go, well on my way towards being really tired tonight. Decided to write a Medium article. I'm going to write a few, and now that things have quieted down a little bit, I'm going to write several. The biggest downside of this is that this screen is so goddamn bright that it makes me look like a pasty ghost person when it's shining here. I guess I could get like a professional lighting system, and by professional I mean a ring light from Walmart, but you know, I'm working up to these big purchases, you know? Alright. I'm actually low on ideas for this one right now, so we're going to... I don't want to share a draft link. What do I want to do? Let's go to stories. We're going to go to drafts, and we're going to look at this guy here. This one's pretty much fully sourced out. All I need to do is look at what is and is not good writing here, because the AI has gotten to the point where it does. So if you're writing professionally, a good chunk of where you spend your time is sort of this unpleasant slog between the ideas and the final draft. Now that final polishing bit really, especially right now at this level, really requires that human touch. And it's a clear difference between professionals and semi-professionals. Like, it's not hard to tell the difference if you are a professional when you're looking at one from the other. And the idea part is the fun part, so it gets us all into it to begin with. But there's this slog in between that's about 80% of the work. And the AI is spectacular at doing that. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to turn on the... If I can get that, there it is. Try to turn on this little pen feature thing. I'm trying to, I was hoping that like Windows whiteboard feature would work, but it doesn't seem to actually want to. So Epic Pen, that's what it was, which is a weird name for a device. I thought it would be better than that. I don't know. Actually, it took me a while to figure out why it sounded weird to me, and then I was like, oh, it sounds like EpiPen. Alright, so let's see. Did it remember my settings from last time? It did. Cool. Do you not do undo? Wait, what is undo on this? Control Shift 6, because that makes sense. Control Shift is, it's not like there's a set hotkey for for undo that everybody everywhere uses. Oh, cool. And it does interrupt the scroll wheel. Oh, that's annoying. You would think at this point in time, with the fact that tablets have been like part of the world for 10 years as like a major part of our tech reality, that they would have a better whiteboarding system just built into them. Not like an aftermarket thing, but just built into them. There should be the idea that you probably want to occasionally just write on your screen. But you know, I guess not. Okay, well, let's close that up. Okay, what's the hotkey for that? Control Shift 1. All right, so that's kind of helpful. I can just hit Control Shift 1. Control Shift 1. All right. Poor people's in jail. What can we do about that? All right, we're gonna get rid of the italics here because that just looks funny. There are currently 2 justice systems in America. One where poor people sit in jail until their trial date arrives. Technically, you know what? We'll keep it. We'll keep it plural. It's a little bit weird there as a plural, but whatever. Another where rich people are bailed out within hours, live free until their expensive lawyers run out of stalling tactics, then get acquitted. So what can we do about that? All right. So this whole section here was actually written by the AI. Current limitations of the public defender system in the US. I farmed this out to the AI. You can see sort of areas where it makes a lot of very human mistakes, which makes perfect sense because how does this work? This is a language learning model. So it looks at how humans use language, and that's where it learns from. But the thing is, humans are not great at communicating and writing. The way we write is not what we respond to as written. And I work as a writer, and I work in the tech field in brand writing, which means that I have not only a lot of opportunities to write, but a lot of opportunities to look at the metrics resulting from that writing and get a feel for like what people respond to, what people engage with, what they run away from. And interestingly enough, a lot of the things that are how we like to write are not actually what we like to read. So what I'm going to do here over as like Casper the Friendly Ghost, completely washed out next to the screen, is okay. So you see we have a lot of really soft language in here. Is intended to ensure that the individuals who cannot afford legal representation have, like, do you feel how cumbersome this is? The public defender system in the United States is intended to ensure that individuals who cannot afford legal representation have access to. All right, it's too much. Control Shift 1. Hey, look at that, it worked. That's annoying though. Control Shift 1 is actually really hard to hit on the keyboard with one hand. All right, public defender system. All right, we don't need to say in the United States because we say it right up here, which is another thing that ChatGPT struggles with, as it doesn't really understand or take into account the context given above. It's just not very good at context clues. It doesn't understand what they are yet. I suspect that's something that will rapidly be understood in future iterations. I think that's probably something that's already on their horizon. And I think it's probably something that will develop naturally as part of the language learning model as they have a bigger pool that they're drawing from. Like, it's just something, it's just like how we learn as kids, right? Like, subtext, we don't get subtext until we're, at a certain level of development. And it's not because kids are stupid, it's because we need to develop a certain amount of life experience, a certain amount of like cross-referencing internally before we start to recognize that what is happening earlier in the conversation is being referred back to in a way that affects what the current moment of conversation means. Everything is existing as part of a context stretching backwards, and that people don't always say what they mean, how they mean it. All right. A public defender system is intended to ensure that individuals, pro tip here, if you want to make your writing seem friendlier, more informal, and more approachable, like more conversational, the single best thing you can do to take something that sounds like really overly formal and legal and just very standoffish and weird, like it has this cold, inhuman sound to it, one of the easiest ways to fix that effectively is to create contractions. So, like, let's even, like, you can read it out loud here. The public defender system is intended to ensure that individuals who cannot afford legal representation have access to ... versus the public defender system is intended to ensure that individuals who can't afford legal representation. It changes the voice, like your internal narrator and your reader's internal narrator when you use a contraction. And unless you have a very good reason to want it to sound formal, such as you are a lawyer, you're almost always better off using the contraction because your goal is to create a bridge between you and the person that you are communicating with. And people communicate very effectively with other humans, especially in informal ways. There's always a balance between formal and informal, particularly in a professional setting. But you want to err as close to the side of informal as you can get away with in the context. That is a judgment call. It's a judgment call that comes with experience, but it is always basically as close to informal as you can get away with. That's where you want to draw the line. You never want to be more formal than you have to be in any written communication ever. With the caveat that in times, like I said, it comes with experience. There are going to be times where the consequences of being too informal may be a little bit bigger than the consequences of being formal. Like, if you're too formal, you've lost out on effective communication. If you're too informal, maybe you've pissed off the CEO. You know, like you write an email to the CEO, maybe you're going to want to make, some slight alterations to your plans. But I stand by the earlier statement, like the more informal you can be, the more effective you'll be as a communicator. All right, let's see here. We're going to go back to the big screen here. Give my poor eyes a break. System is under siege. Technically, in criminal cases is an important detail. Like if you were writing a school report, you would want to specify the hell out of this. Here, you don't need to. You're basically relying on your audience to understand from context that we mean in a criminal setting, right? We know you're not getting the public defender to get out of your traffic ticket. It's, for your murder trial or whatever. However, the system is under siege from a range of issues. This is a good turn phrase, under siege. The system is under siege. Technically, you could turn systems into a contraction. I wouldn't do that here for a clarity reason. People get a little confused with possessive sometimes. So it's a little funky to add that as sometimes. Most often, whenever you see a phrase, cordon off with a comma, that is a phrase you can get rid of. Here we're going to keep it. Again, judgment call, but you should always look at it. Like, keep it, don't keep it. But whenever you see something like however, or consequently, or in short, or in conclusion, any of these, sub clauses here, you can get rid of, or prepositional phrases in many cases also. You need to ask yourself whether they need to be there, whether they're giving you more than they're taking away by taking up real estate, because you have very limited real estate. You're basically, when you're writing something, you're renting someone's time, and you've got a very narrow window before they move on if they feel like you're wasting their time. So don't do anything that wastes their time if you can avoid it. This isn't like having an actual conversation where you're kind of trapped in it, and if somebody rambles on for a bit, you just grit your teeth and bear it, because it would be rude to just turn around mid-sentence and walk away. I mean, you can just do that when you're reading something on the internet. I think we're going to get rid of it, because the however does bring up, the reason I was thinking about keeping it here is, hold on, let's bring it back. You're laying out what the public defender system does, and it's a clearly important thing. And when you say however, you're signaling a tonal shift, and tonal shifts keep people's attention. Here's what you expect, but it's something different. That's one of the most effective ways to suck in an audience and keep them. But sometimes you want to just jump right into it. And we don't really need to keep them on the hook here, because we're going to jump right into the system, except we're going to call it this system because we just referred to it. And this more clearly draws the link between Control-Shift-1. Ignore that earlier one there. Let's see if we can get, there we go, delete. All right, more clearly draws the link between the start of this sentence and the subject of this sentence. The system can really be anything. This system is specific. And when you have the choice between being general and being specific, go for specific. From a range of issues. All right, so you're not even pausing here. You're saying from a range of issues. It's not just under siege. It's under siege. It's surrounded. It's multiple sources. That's probably going to be enough to keep people engaged. Excessive caseloads and lack of resources. This is an iffy move. Lists of lists get chunky fast. As soon as things get hard to read and hard to keep track of, people check out. Even smart people, because they feel like they have to remember a list. So if you have a list of lists, you're making it harder to remember. But here, you notice we've broken it down. So it's not excessive caseloads, comma, lack of resources, comma, inadequate funding, comma, racial disparities, comma, economic disparities, comma, limited access to clients, comma, and lack of independence, comma, right? You're lumping these things together. And that is usually more effective, but we're still getting a little carried away here. Now we could make this a list. In a lot of cases, people would break this out into a bullet point list. I think that would be a mistake. You're taking up a lot of vertical real estate when you do that. And this is scannable. Like, people can read this if they're interested. But they can still just jump past it. We got rid of foremost at the end there because it's a word that doesn't do anything, cordoned off with a comma. So we looked at that and we're like, okay, what are you doing? Why are you here? And the answer is, you're here to tell people that there's more issues. Like, these are just the big ones. But we've just given them a long-ass list. We don't need to let them know that there are additional anythings. Like, we can jump into that later if we want. And if we don't want to jump into it later, then we have no reason to bring it up here. All right. there's no point in foreshadowing something that we're not going to shadow. All right. These challenges can contribute to the disproportionate. Okay, this is weak language, right? Weak language. And this is what I'm talking about, where the AI gets things like, it puts together amazing rough drafts, but it's just not quite there yet in terms of like actual functional writing, like polished, ready to go writing. And this is even like, I've trained this model a little bit to write more like me, so it is already writing more effectively than the standard chat GPT model. All right. But these challenges can contribute. That's weak. Can contribute. Or it could not contribute. Also, if you have any questions at any point or comments or whatever, feel free to, comment. All right, now the only reason to be weak like this is if we want to make a somewhat unsupported statement. Like if we don't have data to back it up, maybe we don't want to do that. But otherwise, we want to get rid of it. If this wasn't such a long list, what we'd do is we'd delete this, we'd have to put a comma here, and we turn this to contributing. So the system is under siege from a range of issues: excessive caseloads, ... lack of independence, comma, contributing to the disproportionate and unjust treatment of marginalized communities. We don't need to say within the criminal justice system, because we already know that this is taking place within the criminal justice system. So we've gotten rid of like 2 whole lines here, and we've tightened this up. Public defenders are often overworked and under-resourced with large caseloads. Again, that can. Also, anytime you see something cordoned off with a comma, you want to look and see if you need it. Another word that's always a red flag is that. Sometimes you need it, but usually what it's doing is acting as a just extra speed bump. And almost any sentence you see the word that in is one you can make active, and active sentences grab people. People pay attention to active sentences. Active. So you can see here, instead of that can make it, just caseloads, with large caseloads making it difficult to provide adequate representation. According to the National Legal Aid and Defender Association, public defenders handle an average of we can just change to defenders average 150 to 200 felony cases per year, while the American Bar Association recommends, this is a place where we actually do need the WALDA, recommends, because you see this is a shift, right? It's not a tonal shift, but it's a directional shift. We're saying this is how many there should be, and then this while here is a strong signal that we need to be looking at, or that we're about to see a contradiction. And people like that moment of anticipation. When they can guess what the ending of the sentence is going to be, they're more likely to finish the sentence. Now, this is a really cool caveat if you can pull it off. One of the best reactions you can get is to make people sure they know how something is going to end, and then switch it up on them. We're not going to do that here, but anytime you have an opportunity to do that isn't wildly contrived, it's a pretty excuse me, it's a pretty solid uh, literary flourish. And here again, you can see that the AI really likes to be wishy-washy. That's because humans really like to be wishy-washy, and it's learned it from humans. So I learned it from you, Dad. We can just say this makes it. Because there's really no need to say can here, right? Like having an average number of cases, like the low end of average, interceding with the maximum number recommended by the American Bar Association. Intersecting, sorry, not interceding. Intersecting with the recommended maximum. Of course, it's going to make it difficult. If it didn't make it difficult, it wouldn't be the recommended maximum. Or prepare for trial. We're going to change this or to and. Makes it difficult to investigate, conduct research, and prepare for trial. We're going to go to public defenders are often underfunded. No, we're going to keep it. Public defenders are often underfunded with limited resources for training, technology, and investigative support, resulting, again, see that can? And in this case, we're using this as a that, right? Resulting in a lack of expertise and resources that can be so we have resulting in a lack of expertise and resources critical for effective representation. You can see how much better these paragraphs get just from that small change of pulling out and destroying wherever possible these just unnecessary subclauses and not technically passive phrases, but we'll call them passive phrases. For example, almost never need for example. Humans understand what an example is. So for an example, again, another little cordoned off by a comma phrase. Almost always unnecessary. And that's what you want to pay attention to here. And you're going to see a lot of an AI. And I've told it to stop using them, and it is using less of them. But the problem is, we are taught as humans to use these, particularly in high school and college. They're transitions between phrases, transitions out of paragraphs, transitions into paragraphs. We're taught to connect all these things together in a way that really does nothing but pad the word count. It doesn't make for more effective communication. And if you're wondering why we're taught to write that way, I don't know. It is wrong. Speaking as a professional writer, it is the wrong way to teach people how to write. Pure and simple. It makes people less effective communicators. Help build a strong defense. Who can help? Help build strong defenses. We'll call it a strong defense, actually. We'll keep that. People of color. All right. here's a case where we don't need to write this out because everybody knows what the ACLU is, right? American Civil Liberties Union. Here, this is a little bit unnecessary, but it's also an appeal to a recognized, reasonably well-known authority, worth keeping in line. People of color are disproportionately, here we've got a minor error, there we go. Ooh, kudos to whoever programmed that in Medium. You see how the space there just ate up that unnecessary, overly extended underline? Just chef's kiss on that one. Well done. Small UX things like that are pure gold because people often don't pay attention to, like, they don't get a lot of resources, but they make such a difference to the overall quality of the experience. Among the poor and accused, and are more likely to be assigned to public defenders. Compounding this, here's one of our sectioned off, commaed out phrases. They may have limited access to their clients. So the reason I'm pausing here is this is an area where the context is actually unclear. It's not 100% obvious who they are in this context. You can figure it out, but right here, the primary subject of this whole sentence here is are the poor and accused. And here, the subject has switched to public defenders, which is questionable. All right, so what we've done here is we've shifted the emphasis now of the sentence within this phrase here to public defenders, which in a very technical sense does make it somewhat arguably a run-on sentence. This would be a really good reason to get rid of this section here. God, that whole paragraph's kind of a mess. All right, we're just going to rewrite it. These lawyers may have limited access to their clients, particularly, often also an unnecessary word, but in this case, needed. Defendants are incarcerated or facing long distances to attend court. Okay, cool. So you can see we've actually cut down on that significantly. All right. 200 case load. Prove outcomes for those poor. How about the poor? Normally, I don't go in for being overly politically correct. Actually, limited. Actually, challenged financially. Whatever. If somebody wants to take me on for that, I will say, yeah, well, they are the poor. I've been the poor. I can talk about the poor. I spent my time as a starving artist. Not anymore, thankfully, but yeah. Actually, fun personal fact. I've never in my life been anywhere in my adult life, been anywhere but the top or the bottom 15% of earners. I have either been desperately trying to make ends meet, borderline starving, struggling to keep a roof over my head, or making really good money. Nowhere in between, at any point ever in my entire career. I asked ChatGPT to outline the best and worst case scenarios for 1, 5, and 10 years out. Okay. These we won't edit as heavily because they are intended to be in the AI's voice. Legal research document. The only cases where I'm really significantly going to mess with them are places where I think if we leave it, I'm going to lose readers, because that is still the primary concern. Diversity in the legal profession. Additionally, the use of AI could lead to biases or maybe. Okay. I'm not going to read these all out loud. I'm just going to scan them real quick. You'll notice if you are a quick reader that these do get a little repetitive. Like I said a little while ago, the AI, one of its weaknesses is that it doesn't really look at what has been said before when it decides what to write now. It doesn't include previous context. Now, speaking of things that you can do, this is a fun thing to learn if you are interested in writing, reading, proofreading, that sort of thing. So, people tend to read one of two ways. They either hear a voice in their head reading the words, which makes you a better proofreader and makes you a better speaker if you're reading words off a page. Or they tend to see the words only. And in fact, train them usually read the words in chunks. It's called, last I checked, I believe, chunking. You should, if you want to be a writer and you're taking it seriously, spend some time training yourself to do both. Because there are going to be times when you want to read very quickly, and your ability to read a lot very quickly really, really matters. And for that, you're going to want to be able to just see the words. Not hear the words, see the words. And we tend to do one or the other as humans, but everybody's brain has the ability to do both. You're just using different, like one, you're sort of using the audio or auditory part of your brain to handle the language transition or translation. The other part, you're doing it with your eyes. You're going through your visual cortex only. Both of these are ways that your brain can interpret information. and you can do both. And I would recommend learning to do both. There are sites that will train you to read faster, basically speed reading, and spend some time with those. You can even put, like, a lot of them allow you to copy paste anything you want in there. And what they'll do is they'll just give you one word or like 3 words eventually, or eventually more at a time. And you can get quite effective that way. Of course, if that's how you already read and you want to learn how to do sort of auditory reading, you can do that. I know that because that was something I had to train myself to do. One of the most interesting things about that is I never used to mix up words that sound the same until I was a professional writer and I had trained myself to read the words and hear them at the same time as I was writing things. It slows down the writing a little bit, but I find that it creates a better, more conversational result, which is worth it. It creates more natural sounding dialogue and just a friendlier, more open writing tone when I do it that way. I can still switch back and do it the other way, just like straight concept to words. I can do that. But I train myself to do it this way. But since I've done that, I'm far more vulnerable to accidentally write like THERE instead of, THEIR, there versus there type stuff. I never ever used to confuse, is it homophones or homonyms? I can't remember anymore, but I never used to confuse those until I was probably in my late 20s. And now I do, if and only if I am writing in this one particular way. But the point of that was that I can switch back and forth, so you can switch back and forth. You can learn. Promise. All right, where were we? We were here. So one interesting thing about all 3 of these, the 1, 5, and 10-year position, is the worst case and the best case scenarios laid out here by the AI are not worst case and best case scenarios, because if you notice, they are in no way whatsoever contradictory or exclusive. Which is to say, you could have a future where AI would be fully integrated into the legal profession, allowing lawyers to focus on high-level tasks such as counseling clients, making strategic decisions, and appearing in court, etc. And a worst-case scenario where AI could replace many senior-level legal positions, such as partners and senior counsel. This could lead to a lack of human judgment and the loss of personal touch, etc., etc. So, like, both of these things could happen. In fact, we are going to just add a we'll switch to best, worst, best, slash worst, just to match the actual order that they're in. You know what? Nobody needs me to explain that to them. Anybody that does is wasting their time reading, articles on AI anyway. We'll say 4C. A little later on. Dot dot dot. I wish I knew the hotkey for this. Whatever. It's fine. It's not hard to imagine AI in court listening to witness testimony or procedural conversations. And speaking of beautiful AI, you see how when I put 2 dashes, so dash, it just automatically changes it into an M dash as an EM as opposed to an N dash or a hyphen. This is a hyphen. So hyphens are like, I love how when you just can't think of anything hyphenated because there's a million different words. But okay, so we'll go with something that isn't normally hyphenated anymore, but like email. So that's a hyphen. That's how you join 2 words together. 555 69. All right. See what it did there? See how it changed that to that medium link thing? That is an N dash, which you use to separate groups of numbers. Now, when you're creating a pause, you create a slightly wider dashed line or line there, and that is an M dash. Word does not do this automatically. It doesn't even have a hotkey for it on Windows. It only does on Mac. Very few word processors handle this correctly or consistently. I cannot overstate how beautifully fine-tuned Medium's UX and UI are for writing. There is an art in good UX that is widely underappreciated, and if you consider UX as art, the people that built this word processor were absolute masterclass, just incredible. Prompting with suggestions, objections, relevant. What is the word that they use in court for that? Precedence and other work. Um, that not too distant future. B, not a robot. Certainly a cyborg. All right. And that anticipating the ends and directions of the prosecutions. Shit, what is the... Ah, man, there's defense counsel. I can't remember what the technical term for prosecution would be. Which is crazy because I've actually ghost written books on court cases, but I try to just block those out of my mind. Let me tell you, it's not Law and Order. It's like 100 hours of people just talking and talking and talking and talking about the most mundane and trivial bullshit, like motion of the mean, blah blah blah, continuance, blah 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 this, blah 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 that. Alright, we're going to court is in recess until this time. Blah 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 blah. It's, oh my god, it killed any desire I had, which was, to be fair, just like a molecule of desire. But any desire I had to be a lawyer, like people people barely ever say objection. There was like one section of one trial that I was watching because I was, ghostwriting a book about it, and there was like a maybe 15-minute period where the prosecution and the defense counsel made like maybe 4 objections. So they were averaging like one every like 3 minutes, and like the judge literally had them approach the bench and was like, settle down, you two. What is going on with you? Like, this is unprofessional. You guys need to get your shit together. So, like, the drama on a scale of 1 to 10 reached like 1.5 for like 10 minutes, and the judge was like, time out, everybody take a breather. Yeah, deep breathing, guys. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Do we need an early lunch? Anyway, I thought it was kind of interesting, but like only in a really boring sort of interest, I guess. Anticipating arguments. Advance. Suggesting ways to respond. About same time should also be able to cross check a complete script of witness testimony in real time, looking for contradictions or inconsistencies. I need to invent this. I will be able to invent this and retire. I can live off the residuals. All right. Also, this image generated by AI, I kind of love it. I'm not sure what all these guys are looking at. You can see mostly good hands, one small case of nightmare hands here, but overall pretty good. And of course this guy with his little lug nut bowler hat. And he has a real shirt and a real tie, but a steel coat jacket with no sleeves. Just what's not to love, right? All right, what time is it? It is 11 o'clock. I'm calling it. I had a great time streaming tonight. Thank you to everyone who stopped by and the one person that's still here. But I think it is time to call it. We are closing in on 3 hours of streaming. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm not even going to publish this right now. I'm going to publish it in the morning because it's silly to publish something at 11 o'clock at night. All right. Anyway, thank you everyone. Appreciate it. Please, if you enjoyed this at all, go ahead and follow. It would be much appreciated. I am very new to this, so I have a grand total of I think like 6 followers maybe, and I would love to keep building on that and get a good community going here. I may eventually have a Discord,